Hi, I'm Mary Laverty, and this is the Life Balance Show. Today, we're going to talk about our families, our quirky families. You know, each person has what I call an Achilles heel, this weak spot that sends them into orbit. We refer to them in my family as these little funny quirks that they have. For example, my son Nicholas's, his Achilles heel is disorganization. Other people's. This is a kid who likes his ducks in a row. He likes order. He likes organization. And when things go awry, that is his Achilles heel. Now, one of my beliefs is that if we can understand what other people's Achilles heel is, we can deal with it. We can protect it a little bit. I'm not talking about being an indentured servant or codependent or any of that. Just the sort of understanding, loving way of knowing that we all have our quirks. And instead of trying to control it, instead of resisting it, maybe we ought to just kind of roll with the punches just a little bit and understand that if we can ease their way, maybe they'll ease ours. So for my son Nick, when he was 8 years old, he played t-ball. Well, the t-ball game started about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In Colorado, in the spring, it rains about every 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So there was a game delay. And finally, we were playing the game a few hours later. And he's playing left field. And at 8 o'clock, I see this little boy walk out of the left field. He goes over to the coach, says something, and walks to the car and stands there. I'm sitting in the stands going, what on earth is going on? I walk out to the parking lot. I go, Nicholas, what are you doing? The game's not over. He said, Mom, it's 8 o'clock. I go to bed at 8:30. We need to get home. Well, the coach had very politely explained to him that the game wasn't over yet. This meant nothing to Nicholas. It was his Achilles heel. He was sorry about the rain delay. He was sorry the game wasn't over, but he needed to go to bed at 8:30. Now, I can help him become a little bit more flexible. I can help him come up with ways to cope when he's feeling this anxiety if he's not staying on his schedule. But you know, he's 23 years old right now, and he still has that Achilles heel. It is part of him, and I can help him protect it and ease through it. My grandmother, she grew up during the Depression, as many of our elders did. They have a very frugal sense of things, and actually lots of traits that we could all use right now. One of the ones that she had on the farm with 6 kids was that in the evening she had a familiar phrase of, I'll patch it. And she would spend her nights patching usually the knees of all of these farmer bib overalls that they wore. Well, ecologically ahead of her time, when a garment was really not worth patching anymore, she would wash it and then cut it into rags. So my Aunt Mary Ellen, took care of her in her later years. My grandmother lived to be 96. And one day, Mary Ellen, having been taught this frugality, decided that her pajamas were worthy of disposal. They were pretty thin, and decided that she would get a new pair. So, taking Grandma's lead, she washed her pajamas, but before, she had cut the buttons off because Grandma had always taught her, you know, you never know when you might need a button. And then Mary Ellen went to work. Well, when she came home, she walked into her bedroom to change her clothes, and much to her amusement, there were her pajamas at the end of the bed, neatly folded, with the buttons sewed back on. So Mary Ellen had a good laugh about that and understood that this was Grandma's Achilles heel. She grew up in a time where you did not waste anything. She just couldn't do it. She was a very generous woman, but she was also very frugal and very common sense in this way. And so instead of Mary Ellen fighting her and saying, look, Mother, I'm 56 years old. I think I can decide when I should get new pajamas. She used her sense of humor. She understood that this was Grandma's Achilles heel. She protected it, loved her through it, and wore the pajamas a few more nights. Look at your family. There might be something that you're pushing up against that is a quirk that's actually although very annoying, just kind of benign. And that if you could love them through that, it would create a lot more harmony. Because there's a chance that you have some quirks too. When you can't keep up, connect. I love to end the show that way because I hope that you'll chant it all week. I hope you'll look at your Achilles heels and the quirky Achilles heels of your family and blend it together and stay more connected. Until next time, when you can't keep up, connect.